Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hollywood Joe Williamson, founder of Hollywood's World of Sports and co-host of the We Love Lucha podcast, which you can find on Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud.com, and other social media outlets. Tonight I want to come to you, and as most of you know, I do a lot of WWE DVD reviews, and this one really kind of touched home with me. It really spoke to the heart of why I'm a wrestling fan. All my life, I've been a pro wrestling fan since, God, my first early memories were, when Hogan lost the belt to Andre in the Fast 1, 2, 3 and created the tournament at WrestleMania 4. And ever since then, I was so into Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania and being a Hulkamaniac. In my later years, I loved watching Shawn Michaels and, watching arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time. And, even in my adult years now, I love watching guys like, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Antonio Cesaro, so many great stars, past and present, and even some great stars coming up in the future. And the DVD I'm going to talk about tonight, and it just came out this week, The History of WWE, 50 Years of Sports Entertainment. And I'll give you a glimpse here, who's all on the cover, because it's the who's of the WWE. And I gotta tell you, this DVD, the documentary, pretty much covers every aspect of the World Wrestling Federation, now known as World Wrestling Entertainment. And it really is so in-depth of what the business is all about and what the WWE has always been about. And I gotta tell you, as much as people frown on WWE these days, it's stale, it's boring, it's not what it used to be, but, WWE has evolved so much in 50 years. I mean, you almost wonder where else can you go with it, obviously, a lot of people miss the Attitude Era. I personally miss the golden era of the late 80s and early 90s. But, they are an ever evolving company. And, when I think about the pro wrestling haters, I ask myself, why do you hate it? Is it because it's scripted? Is it because it's, fake? Or is it because it's not, your normal television show? And it's really not. And when you think about the WWE, you think about all the different characters that have come and gone. I have to assume that there is a character that everyone could be able to relate to in the last 50 years. They've had extreme characters. They've had funny characters. They've had American heroes. They've had foreigners. They've had punks. They've had goths. They've had hillbillies. They've had wrestlers with pets. They've had it all. And they still have a lot of dynamic characters today. And props to Vince. Props not just to Vince McMahon, but, Vince McMahon Sr. and Jess McMahon. Um, I think when Jess McMahon started Capital Wrestling Federation, he probably never thought in his wildest dreams that his grandson would take it to the heights it's been, taken to. And, one thing I like about this DVD is, without a doubt, the matches on here. A lot of people always bicker, oh, well, the match selection is the same. This DVD, very, very, what's the word I want to use? Very perfect. Like, it highlights the big events. Let me run through the list here for you. WWE Championship match: Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham, April 30, 1977. Hulk versus Andre, WrestleMania 3. Royal Rumble match, the first one in 1988. The first episode of Raw, featuring a match between Koko Beware and Yokozuna. The King of the Ring finals from 1996. Jake Roberts versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Montreal Screwjob. Triple H versus The Rock on one of the first editions of SmackDown. The Rock versus Hogan. The Battle of the Billionaires. And even the most recent, from February 25th of this year, John Cena versus CM Punk for the #1 contenders match to the WWE Championship. I gotta tell you, people are going to complain about the match listing, but what other matches on there could you have that are more defining? There's a couple of them I can think of, but I'm not going to go into those details. But the other thing I'm not going to spoil, but I'll just say it, that there are a lot of people that appear on this DVD that it blew me away. Like, it just blew me away just how many people appeared on this DVD. Some of the people, when they popped up, I was like, whoa, they're on this DVD? Was made peace with them, or they're on good terms again? It's just a lot of random stuff. Random people that I didn't honestly think would be on this DVD, but they are. And it's really hard to talk about WWE as a whole because there's so much to talk about. But that's why there's this DVD, and it's a 2-hour documentary. And, other than the rise and fall of ECW, this is probably one of the best documentaries WWE's put out about a company, because obviously it's about themselves. But if I had to rank them, I'd obviously rank, Rise and Fall of ECW still #1, this DVD #2, and the Rise and Fall of WCW #3. But to me, this one and ECW are far ahead of what the WCW DVD was. But if you have only been watching wrestling for a few years, I would suggest you pick this DVD up, because it'll give you a good history lesson. And I should just say that in general, if you've ever watched professional wrestling in your life, this is a great DVD to pick up and just learn. I gotta tell you, my podcast partner on We Love Lucha, Jordan Francisco, who I give a cheap plug out to, check out jfranny.com. He often refers to me as the human almanac of pro wrestling, just because of my knowledge on pro wrestling and WWE in general. A lot of the stuff in the DVD I didn't know, but the stories behind it, it gave me a wealth of knowledge that I never thought I would ever have. I have learned so much more, newer things about what's happened with the business, and just the backstage stuff and, you know, reasons for stuff happening. And, you know, I'm very appreciative of that, because I always feel like, you know, being a wrestling fan for, you know, 25 years, 26 years, you know, I've run out of things to learn about and have stored in my head up here. But WWE, you know, this DVD really gave me a huge perspective on what it means to be a pro wrestling fan, what it means to study the business, what it means to love the business, love the art form. You know, it's watching this DVD, it made me realize that, you know, this is the whole reason that me and my podcast partner Jordan started We Love Lucha and started doing a podcast once a week about pro wrestling. And yeah, I'm gonna say, get this DVD. You'll appreciate the WWE so much more. You become a bigger fan than maybe you already once were. And I gotta tell you, the 4 guys they really focused on, like really focused on, Bruno, Hogan, Austin, Cena. Think about that, and think about what those 4 mean, and how each generation brought something different. And you know, 4 different dynamic personalities, that's for sure. So boy, I could go on all night about the history of WWE, 50 years, but I'm not. I'm going to just say this: if you're a wrestling fan, buy this DVD. Just enjoy it. Relive some of the history and the moments. If you're not a WWE or pro wrestling fan, watch it anyways. And then you might understand why people like me, people like my girlfriend, who I've met due to my love of professional wrestling, people like my podcast partner Jordan Francisco, a lot of my best friends, close friends, are pro wrestling fans. And you know, you'll find out why very quickly when you watch this DVD, why so many people have loved pro wrestling, past and present, and definitely into the future. So with that being said, this is Hollywood Joe from Hollywood's World of Sports, your source for all things sports. And you know, the motto keeps on ticking: controversy doesn't come without criticism. And be sure again to check out We Love Lucha on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, and any other social media outlet out there. Thanks again for taking the time to listen to the review. I really hope everybody that listens to this watches the DVD. So let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, feedback. For those of you who do get a chance to watch it, I definitely want to hear from you. So thank you guys. Good night. God bless, and be safe.